Welcome back to Brighter Rays. Today we're looking at a study called What We Once Were, and we're looking at Titus 3:3. And we're in a section called Defiled Relationships, because Paul's been reminding the church in Crete that they were once a certain way, and that should affect how they live. They need to remember where they came from, what God pulled them out of, so that in the present time they live differently than everybody else. They were once a certain way. They were once doing these things before they came to Christ. They acted a certain way, but now that they are set free by Christ from the law of sin and death, they can act differently. They can choose to follow the law now. They can choose to be good people, where before they chose to do evil, and that was just kind of their natural. That's our natural state. That is our sinful nature. That's where we come from. But to keep us humble, we need to look back and say, okay, yeah, that's where I once was. I'm a Christian now, but, that's only by the grace of God. That's what he's going to say in verses 4 and on. It's only by the grace and mercy of God. That's it. So it's not because of me. So I can't hold my salvation over people. I can't treat people wrongly, because what I am now is not because of me. It's because of God. And so that's why we were once that way, and to remind us that, yeah, we're different now by the praise and glory of God. Not because of something I've done, not because I deserve, I've done something to deserve that. It's only by the free gift of God that I'm saved from all that. So that keeps us, like Paul, keeps us humble, but it reminds us, yeah, okay, cool. I can be different now. So today we're looking at the relationship part of this. And Paul says that we were hated by others when we were unbelievers. Now, obviously, this doesn't always change, but Paul describes the state of human relationships before conversion with three Greek words: hateful and hating one another. Now, the first word suggests that our conduct was such as to be worthy of hatred. Now, as a Christian, you can be hated by other people, and you will be. You will be hated by people that are still unbelievers. They'll hate you for being different now. But this here says that you deserve hatred because of the way you act. You're worthy of hatred. One definition I liked was that we were odious. I guys like the word odious. It's a good picture. I kind of like, oh, that's odious. You stink. We were a cause of offense. And Paul said earlier of the false Christians that they are detestable. Their actions merit the hatred of others. Now, my kids tell me of people that they work with that wonder why they have so much drama and problems in their lives. And they don't realize that their actions are the reason why people are hating on them. They don't realize, what you're doing is worthy of hatred from these people, because you're just mean. You're not being nice. You're not loving these people. And they can't comprehend that they would love their enemies, that they wouldn't, why wouldn't they give other people reason to hate them? It doesn't come across, in their minds. So they don't know why, but then they also do the things and they know why. So again, we go back to the defiled mind, but that's what they do. People don't hate these people because they're so kind and caring. People hate them because they pass their time in malice and envy. That's what they're doing. That's what their hearts are like. That's what they do. They're always about malice and envy, and then they wonder why other people hate them. It's like, well, your actions are the reason why. That's why your relationships are the way they are. That's why people don't like you, because you're envious. You speak malice and do hurtful things towards others. And so the reason why people hate you, because you are doing things that deserve hatred. And so that's just the truth. That's what we once were. People who did things that deserved hatred. And he also says that, we were all about hating one another too. So not only are they objects of hatred, they also detest other people. So there's a reciprocal nature of this hatred. Unbelievers do things that make other people hate them, and in turn, they hate other people. It's a vicious circle of hatred. And this circle doesn't really have an end, it's an infinite loop. Revelation tells us that Satan, the fallen angels, and unbelievers will spend eternity in the lake of fire. If these are all together forever, their companionship will be forever a source of torment. They will always be hateful and hate others. All the envy, malice that caused wars, cruelty, oppression, and terror on earth will be unrestrained there. And there will be no escape from it, no hiding. There's no suicide to escape. There will just always be this constant circle of hatred and hating one another. And so, what a terrible thought to think about, right? But the great news is that's what we once were. That's the key phrase for this week. That's what we once were. That's what, again, we got to remind ourselves, right? That's what we once were. We're no longer that way. I no longer have to hate. I no longer have to do things that people hate. I don't have to be that kind of person. I no longer have to go around hating other people. Because that's what I did all the time before. Doing things, whether I like, oh, I love you, but then really, the definition of love was really hatred, if you look at it. But as a Christian, you can truly love people. You can do things that really don't deserve hatred by anyone, even by God. You can do things that God approves of and loves. Before you didn't do that. Before you didn't know how to do that. But now you can. Wow, that's amazing. But that keeps us humble, right? Because we know that that's because of because God changed us. He's working in us. The Holy Spirit's living and active in us, and He's changing us and making us new. So yeah, we were once that way, and we can fall, if we're honest, we can fall back into that. But we can celebrate the fact that God has set us free from that. And now we can choose not to do that anymore. That's amazing, right? That's amazing. So come back next time. We'll have our conclusion to our study for this week as we wrap up our thoughts on what we once were, and see what we can walk away from chapter 3, verse 3, and see what we need to, get into our hearts and our minds.